What's up, everybody? Today we're gonna keep going on our tutorial about Java annotation. In this video, we're gonna build our own annotation, and this is the time we're gonna really jump into what's the essential part of the annotation. After learning about annotation built by others, we might wonder if we can also build some annotation by our own. After all, the beauty of learning programming is to build your own world. However, we have no idea how to do or how to program an annotation ourselves. So what do? Of course, we simulate. So let's first jump into some built-in annotations that is programmed for us. First of all, let's see our old friend, override. And now this time I put my keyboard on the screen so you can see what I typed, and so that when I use some shortcut key, you can also check it out. Okay, so how do we jump into the annotation? We can do this thing. We hold our command and we click override. And then we jump into this file, which is kind of like the source code that defined the override annotation. So what we can find is that there are two parts. First of all, there are a lot of add something, which is also annotation, and there is a part that say public add interface override. So it's easily to see that this override is the same name as add override. So that might be how we define an annotation. Let's check another one. So last time we built this one, which is deprecated. Let's check that. So when we jump into the deprecated, we can find also there are two parts. First of all, there are a lot of add something, and second of all, we can see a lot of this kind of stuff. Okay, it seems like the definition of annotation is divided into two parts. An upper part that with a bunch of other annotations, and a lower part starting with public add interface and the name of annotation. How to define an annotation? We're actually very correct that there are two parts of the annotation, and the annotation above the interface, which is this one, they're called meta annotation. Does that sound familiar? Yes, we saw it last time in the Wikipedia page about annotation. Okay, let me open that page again. Let me search it again. So when we search Java annotation, and then we jump into this Wikipedia, we can find that here are two categories, as I mentioned last time. So first of all is the annotation that applies to Java code, and second of all, the annotation applied to other annotation, which is called meta annotation. I know it sounds like very confusing, what annotation for other annotations. Okay, let's just leave it there. We don't care it for now. And what we're gonna do is let's just build some annotations. Okay, so let's just do what they did. Public add interface. Okay, we're also gonna do it our own. So let's create a class. It's called Ray Annotation. And then we just simply change this class to add interface. That's it. We built our own annotation. So let's try it out. Okay, we built the student class last time. We just put our annotation here. Add Ray annotation. That's it. And we can also put it here, like add Ray annotation. It's okay. And we can also put it on some other places. Okay, let me do a new class to demonstrate it. Let's do a class called Ray Anno. Oh, that's the wrong. Let's do a class called Ray Anno test. And let's build something to test all the cases. So first, we have some attribute in our class. We can have a string name, we can have a int age, something like that. and we can have like a constructor public array annotation. Let's see. Oh yeah. Public array annotest, not annotation. And then we can have some method like public int, I don't know, run. That's it. So here I'm gonna demonstrate where we can put the annotation. So of course we can put on the top of the class, and we can also put it on the top of the parameters. We can also put it on the top of the method we built. No problem. Pretty good. So basically we can put it everywhere. I mean the annotation we built. Let me see what's the problem here. Oh yeah, I forgot to return something, so let me just return on 0. Okay. So you might be wondering what is behind this annotation, why this weird add interface thing came out here. So let's check it out. So how can we check that out? Now we're gonna do something called decompile, which is kind of like the reverse of compile. The Java file will eventually be compiled to a bytecode file, and we can decompile it so that we can see what is behind the scene. Okay, so how do we do that? We already have the code here at interface array annotation, and we are just simply gonna copy it, and then we're gonna paste it into a separate Java file. Or you can just simply do this. You can just copy it and then go to the founder, and then you just simply Command and V, paste it. Okay, so first of all, let's just check it out. Here we can see the thing, they are all the same. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna do this. We're gonna open terminal, and then we're gonna do this thing. So first of all, we're gonna jump into this folder, which is kind of like, okay, let me just do this. Block code, and then self-anno. Okay, and then what we are gonna do, we're gonna compile the file first. So Java C array and then annotation.java. Okay, and then we got the class. Perfect. So what's the decompiling doing is that you use Java P instead of Java C to recompile to decompile it, or you can also call it like deassemble it. So we are gonna do Java P and then array annotation.class, and we just hit enter, and then we can see that compiled from array annotation.java, and this is what array annotation.java essentially is. This is what behind the scene. So this means they generated a new array annotation.java, like a new one. Actually, the one didn't change. If you click here, they just decompile it, and they are telling you that essentially the class is generated from here. Okay, so what is this? What is that? What this is telling us is that annotation is essentially an interface. This means that the annotation is extending another interface, which is called the annotation interface. And this interface is under java.long annotation package. So let's check that out. We're gonna copy this, and then we're gonna new a class called Annotest, and we're gonna simply paste that here. Let me copy that and then paste it here. Okay, so let's change the name, annotations. And then what's the wrong arrow? It's public. Okay, let's just make it interface there. Okay, let me just check. Let's just check the annotation. We still hold the command and then click it. So here is the interface annotation, and we can see a lot of codes, a lot of some method. We're gonna check that out later. So let's also check the documentation. Where can we see the documentation? We can just do this. We copy this, and then we search it in Google. And you can see here, you just click it, and then we can see the documentation, which contains the same thing as we just showed. Okay, thus we found out the essence of annotation, which is a public interface. And since we know that, what interface can do should be also applied to an annotation, right? So what can you put into an interface? Method. Yeah, we can do that in annotation too. Let's go back to our array annotation, and then we can just simply define some method. Let's say a public string show. That's it. And we can also say that we can put it as abstract if you want, but that's like already there. You can see it's gray, so it's default a public abstract, so we don't need to care about that. And why there's 4 related problems, we're gonna show that later on. So to cancel this problem, I'm gonna go to the annotation page, and then I'm gonna just simply comment this all out to cancel the problem. Okay, so let's go back to our array annotation, and then we can add some method. We can also define the return type. That's it, pretty good. It's pretty like an interface, right? That is basically for today's video, and we're gonna show what is this show about, and what is the problem we just saw, and we're also gonna see where is this parameter all come in, which is also related to the method we just showed, but that's the next lesson. So see you in next video.